Hello, welcome to Pop Along RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing, and this channel is all about getting you guys into RC car racing. But we've got to admit that racing isn't for everybody. We often get asked what is the best RC car for racing, and the truth of the matter is, in order to have a race you need to have more than one person with a particular car, and what we recommend is you go to your local club and see what the locals are running and you join in with what everyone else is doing. You're pretty much guaranteed to get some racing out of that. Now then, we, over the years, have done lots and lots of workshops with kids, trying to get kids into RC and into RC racing. And some of these have been quite successful, others have been a little bit of a problem. Because, actually, when you give someone a racing car for the first time, they can be quite difficult to drive. Over here we have got the amazing Apache 2.0. What I like about this radio, or this car, the radio has a setting on it where you could slow the car down and control the speed. Now, if we wanted to do a session in a school with these cars, you're going to need quite a lot of space. And because they move quite quickly, they're quite heavy, the risk factors, the risk of injury and things like that are going to increase, especially when it's kids that have never really driven RC cars before. So actually, when it comes to getting absolute noobs and children into RC, we've found from our years of experience that cars like this are actually perfect. Now here at Pop Along RC, we have tried lots of different cars, and we've used a number of different mini rock crawlers, and we've tried lots of different ways of running these cars outside. We've set up little tracks. But actually, when it comes to running workshops with kids, the crawler cars, they're slower, they're easier to drive, and actually the Utah is probably the car we've used more than any. This though is the Utah 2.0, and it comes in two colours. We have got, let me have a little look on the side of the box. There we go. We've got our lovely turquoisey blue, and we've got the grey cars, and it's about time we update our fleet of RC cars that we use in schools, because I've got a workshop coming up as part of Science Week. I am going to be delivering a little RC car workshop, and Mark is also continuing to do RC car workshops as part of his role as a mentor. So the car of choice is the Utah. It's small, which means you don't need as much space to actually run these cars. They're relatively cheap, they're very durable, they go slower, which means when they crash slower, which means they do less damage. So for an absolute noob, a beginner, these cars are absolutely ideal. They've still got fully functioning suspension, but that's enough of me waffling. Let's get these out of the box and take a look at the Utah. So here we have the Utah 2.0. Now, I have noticed this is a completely different setup to the Utah 1. What I do like about it straight away is the fact that there are no body clips. That is a really cool way of undoing this car. You've got a little switch under here that you just press, and that undoes the lid. Beautiful. I like that a lot. So we've got what looks like oil-filled shocks. I really like the way that the springs are mounted at the bottom of the shock there. I'm not sure how adjustable they are going to be, but you know what, there's some really good travel there, and you can see how much the cars flex Very nice indeed. So both of the cars that we've got here are brushless, and they come with radio. So the radio that you get with these cars is nice and simple. What you need to put in these are AAA batteries, so we'll pop some AAA batteries in there. Wow, really nice design. What a fantastic little car. I think I prefer the turquoisey blue actually over the silvery grey. And we've got the FTX servo at the front there. These tyres are super soft and super sticky. A little brushless motor in there, so dinky. And if we bring in the other one, which is here, I think we could probably have some fun little indoor races with these cars. So in terms of sessions that you can do with these cars, there's a number of ways you can go about doing it. You could do a very simple track on the floor where you put out cones and they can drive through the cones. You can use skittles if you've got skittles and they've got to drive through almost like a chicane or a slalom of skittles without knocking them down. You can also get apparatus that you drive up over. Another one that we've done is where we get students to make bridges out of cardboard, and then they've got to try and drive them over the bridges. There's lots of different ways that you can utilise these cars within a session, and obviously you can adapt it and change it depending on the age of the children that you're working with. But we found with these particular cars, running them with very young children is still very achievable. And actually using the mini rock crawlers on a very simple track, because they're so evenly matched, you can have some really close fun racing, so they get that racing vibe without having to worry about breaking the cars and smashing them into the walls. Really nice platform for working with kids. So let's just take a quick look at some of the rock crawling we've done in the past. If rock crawling's your thing, obviously these are really small rock crawlers. At the moment, my favourite rock crawler is the CENTAUR. Again, this is another car that I've been using in workshops and for mentoring, and also for me going out for a walk in the countryside. I've also got a little rock garden down on the south coast that I often visit. So this summer I'm hoping to pop along to a couple of crawler tracks. There's 2 local to me, and I will be taking the 1/10 scale rock crawlers such as the Centaur, possibly even dust off the FTX RAVINE that we have got in the garage. But in terms of indoor RC car sessions for kids, this is a great starting point. These are really durable, versatile cars which perform great.